I'll give you one last example. There's this friend of mine. She is extremely a grateful person. Amazing gratitude. She says the weirdest things. I remember she came into the office and she says the weirdest thing. She says, "Thank God I was trapped in traffic for 3 hours." The people in the office looked at her, and I'm sure what was in their mind. Did you think she got shabu for breakfast? I mean, what's wrong with her? But then she explained. She says, I thank God. I mean, the traffic was so long. I was able to pray for so many people. Whoa! And I said, whoa. This woman is at a different level. I remember one time she talked to me. She said, Brother Bo, thank God. Yesterday, our car broke down. Okay. You know what I wanted to tell her? I wanted to tell her, I know of this good psychiatrist that, you'd be able to, share some of whatever's happening in your brain of yours, But then again, she explained. She said, Brother Mo, why I'm thanking God, why our car broke down yesterday? Well, who knows? What if the car didn't break down and my husband continued to drive and met an accident? I mean, I believe that all things work for good to those who love God. So thank God. Because of that friend of mine, I too have begun to say strange and weird things like, thank God for this lockdown. I'm able to have deeper relationships with my family. Thank God for this lockdown. I'm able to help people and help the frontliners and help the poor and the hungry. Opportunities have been opened up for me to be able to help them and do little acts of love. Thank God I'm able to reach people online. Thank God. It's amazing how when you're with... And I'm going to ask you this question again. What are you carrying? Because that is our message for today. We're talking about, our key passage is Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." Now, you ask any of the great cooks and they will tell you that they put salt in their food not to make it salty. No, that's not the purpose. The purpose is this, to think about it. I mean, you bring out the flavor of the food, which is the first reason why people use salt. Now, I don't know about you, but salt is pretty basic. Do you remember high school chemistry? I didn't like chemistry. It's my least favorite subject. I had nightmares about memorizing the periodic table, about my teacher and my classmates laughing at me because I did not know. That's my nightmare. They were laughing at me because I did not know how many electrons were circling around zinc. Yeah. Now I can Google and I'll tell you 30 electrons. The only thing I remember about chemistry is that water is H2O. That's all I remember. But now I can look up at Google. I wish there was Google before, no? But now I can look up that salt is sodium chloride. It is just a combination of two things, sodium and chlorine. That's it. It's so no one, man did not invent salt. It's there. It's there in nature. But it's used for so many things for thousands of years. And the first purpose is to bring out its flavor. Bring out the flavor of the food. That's what it does. It's in fact, if you're eating the dish of a good cook, you don't say, "Oh, it's salty." That's not the purpose of salt. The purpose of salt is you eat the food and then you say, "Wow, I taste the whatever it is, the vegetable or the mushroom or the beef or something." You taste the original flavor of the food. That's the purpose of salt, number one. And hey, isn't that the purpose of God's love? When God's love hits you, you don't want people to look at you and say, "Oh, he's more religious." No, the purpose of God's love is when God's love hits you, you want people to look at you and scratch their head and say, "I can't put my finger on it, but he's become a better version of himself." That's what you want. In fact, the goal of being in a relationship with God is that when God comes into your life, you're transformed. And you don't become a different person, you become a better person. You being a son, you become a better son, a better wife, a better daughter, a better husband, a better accountant, a better chef, a better call center agent. You become a better choleric or sanguine or melancholic or no, you become a better introvert or extrovert. You become a better quiet person, or you become a better noisy person. You become a better you. And I'd like to share this. It's you allow the original you. I love this. You allow the original you, the one made in God's image, to come out. That's what it is. And let me share with you my all-time favorite quote. Yes, from Saint Irenaeus, bishop and martyr, and he says, "The glory of God is man fully alive." Oh man, oh man, oh man. That's it. And in fact, what I want to share with you is for all my life, I get thousands of messages in social media, and 80% of them are people with huge problems. People tell me, "Oh, Brother Bo, for your entertainment, watch some telenovelas." And I say, I don't need telenovelas. I read them every day. Real telenovelas, like pang pelikula, yung mga the stuff that people tell me to pray for and ask for advice. But once in a while, I get these very rare letters of people who don't seem to have problems. I'll give you one example. There was this young guy writes to me, "Brother Bo, I'm 28 years old. My career is skyrocketing. They're training me now to become the vice president of this huge company. And last year, I just got married to this beautiful woman. And we have a beautiful relationship. She's pregnant. We're going to have a baby. I have a great relationship with my parents. I have a great relationship with my siblings." And so he was talking about how wonderful his life is. And then at the end of the letter, he says, "I'm supposed to be happy, but I know there is something missing, and I do not know what it is. Brother Bo, what is missing in my life?" And so I hurriedly answered his letter, and I loved his letter, and I told him, "Your professional needs are met, your relational needs are met, your financial needs are met. How about your spiritual needs? Meet them." And then I said, "You need Jesus, and you need to give and turn over your life to the King, so that your life now becomes one of saying, 'Lord, what do you want me to do?'" I invited him to the feast. And so my point is this, and I want to share this. This is powerful. That if you don't fulfill your God purpose, life is meaningless. It really is. Life is bland. Life is tasteless. Because unless God's love comes into your life and conquers your heart and compels you to mission, then you will be floating, and you. So this is what God's love does. It brings out the original flavor, your God mission, your God purpose, your the message version of the Bible, of the key verse that we read, is brings a nice angle to it. I'll read it for you. "Let me tell you," this is the Matthew 5, verse 13, but message version of the Bible. "Let me tell you why you are here. You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavors of this earth." That's the reason why I think, if you think about it, how would you know a religious group is a cult? You'll know that upon some spiritual or religious conversion, that person is asked to give up his own individuality and his own personality and just become religious. No, that's not God's purpose. The purpose of God is to bring out the best you, the image of God, the original image of God, and bring it out, and you fulfilling his purpose in your life. And I pray that right now you discover your God purpose. And then you will realize that the original you comes out, and the God image comes out, and it will be amazing. The second purpose of salt is this: to preserve food. Because in ancient times, there were no refrigerators. And that the best way to preserve food is through salt. You will be able to preserve food for weeks or for months by putting salt. Here's how salt does it. When salt is placed in food, what it does is it dehydrates it. It draws out the water. I'll tell you why. Because bacteria, like any ordinary living thing, needs water. And so, without water, germs cannot live in a highly salty environment. Now, I want you to know that sin is like bacteria. For sin to grow, it needs a specific environment. And so if you want to defeat sin, what you do is you get rid of the environment where it grows. Now, why am I saying that to you? Because I want you to ask yourself that question. How can you get rid of the environment by which sin grows? When Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth," based on context, Bible scholars will say this, and we don't appreciate it. We 20th century, westernized, highly individualized thinking people, living in a highly individualized culture, we will not get it. Because when Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth," in our modern imagination, we think that Jesus looks at one person and says, "You, Mike, are the salt of the earth." Then turns to another person, "You, Pamela, are the salt of the earth." And goes to another person and says, "You, Tekla, you are the salt of the earth." What Jesus was saying, when you look at it, and the Bible scholars will tell you that Jesus was looking at a group of people. He was looking at a local church. He was looking at a local band of friends who love God and love one another and who are growing spiritually. That he says, "You, church, are the salt of the earth." Because I believe that if you want to get rid of sin in your life, you don't do it directly. What you do is you love God together with a bunch of other God followers. Friends, in this time where we are being asked for social distancing, please let us redefine it. It is actually physical distancing that we need. But social distancing, we need our spiritual squad more than ever before. I invite you, come on, connect with them online. Meet together online and share with each other and talk together and laugh together and do life together. Yes, we need it more than ever before. Connect with your spiritual squad.